Welcome. My name is Kirsten of Wild Wandering, and this is our postnatal yoga class. We're going to be doing pretty much everything from a chair today. So go ahead and find a chair. It can be whatever's comfortable. I'm in an office chair because it's the only chair level height chair in my house, but you could also be on the edge of a couch, the edge of your bed. You could be in a kitchen chair as long as you're able to plant your feet firmly on the ground, sit up nice and tall, kind of halfway or towards the edge of the seat. And then it might be helpful as well to grab a yoga block if you have one. We're not going to be doing any weight bearing on this, so if you don't have a yoga block, just find something that's a similar size. All we're going to be doing is resting a foot on it. So anything that's about that size. And then completely optional strap. If you have one and you want to try it out, grab it. If not, no worries. We're just going to work on some rib work and we can use our hands with that, no problem. First things first, no matter how long it's been since you brought this baby in the world, no matter what way it came into being, congratulations. I cannot overestimate how incredibly beautiful and miraculous this thing that you've done is. So whether you had a traditional birth, whether you had a C-section like I unexpectedly did, rather you brought life into this world in a different way, I just want you to know that what you've done already is incredible and what you're doing is incredible. So really give yourself some grace in this practice. This postnatal class is designed with your safety in mind. I am a certified prenatal and postnatal yoga teacher, so all of these exercises are safe. However, I highly recommend you connect with your physician, your doctor, especially if you're before that 6-week mark, just to make sure that you are safe and clear to move. That being said, everything is going to be done from the chair. With just some frame of reference here, I'm about 6.5 weeks postpartum from an unplanned cesarean birth. So everything is very gentle. Everything is really gentle in the core. We want to be really kind with ourselves. And even if you are a little bit further beyond in postpartum, maybe it's been a year since you've given birth and you're just looking to get back into some movement, this class is great for you as well as anybody that maybe wants to join you that just wants a gentle and mindful practice today. So that being said, give yourself grace. Know that pregnancy does a toll on the body, and we got to give ourselves time and patience to get back to maybe what we were capable of before. But hopefully this practice helps you to start to feel a little bit better in your body and perhaps in your mind and your heart as well. Okay, to get started here, find your chair, and we're going to start actually in a child's pose. I'm going to direct you how to get into a modified version from the seat. However, if you're feeling really good and child's pose feels okay in your body at this point postpartum, feel free to find child's pose on the ground if that's what you would prefer. I find that the last couple days that's felt really good in my body, especially because it did not feel well for me in my pregnant body to be in child's pose, so it felt good to return to that space. If you want to, I'm going to demo it super fast. In case you're not familiar, feet come together, you sit back on the heels, and then arms come forward, forehead down onto the earth. You could also place a block underneath your forehead. You could also place a block or a pillow in between your sit bones and your heels if you don't have quite that mobility there. But otherwise, all we're going to do is we're going to find a wall or a table, a counter, anything like that that we can rest up against. I'm going to use the edge of this crib, which will be the most use it's gotten so far. But you're just going to face it, and you're just going to bring your hands to the top of it, and then allow your head to fall forward, stretching out the shoulders, the upper back. And just coming down to the point that feels comfortable, like a good stretch for you. You don't want it to be too intense here. We're going to be here for a few breaths. If it feels good, you can start to close the eyes. Just taking a few breaths, letting yourself settle into your body here. If at any point this is becoming uncomfortable to hold into, feel free to come back up to a seat and just rest your hands in your lap. And taking a few more breaths on your own here. And from here, option to stay in your modified or your child's pose, or option to come back up to seated. I invite you to keep or bring the eyes closed here as we just start with a little bit of breath work. If you are seated up, tall, lengthen the back, crown of the head up towards the sky, hands can just rest in the lap. Good. Finding our 3-part breath here. So with the eyes closed, as you inhale into the belly, the diaphragm, the rib area, and into the chest. As you exhale, reversing, so reverse the breath out the chest, the ribs, and then press it out the belly. Inhale, fill the belly. Breathe in a little bit more, fill the rib cage. And then the chest expands. Exhale and reverse. Finally pressing all of the air out the belly. And continue a few of these breaths on your own here. Good. Pause. Take a couple of natural, normal breaths. And then in through the nose, we'll start chest, ribs, belly. Exhale, press out the belly, ribs, chest. So on an inhale in through the chest. Fill the ribs. Breathe in even more, expand the belly. Exhale, press air out the belly, the rib space, the chest. And then you'll continue with a few of these breaths. As you breathe in this space here, just notice how the body feels. Maybe you haven't really practiced these deep breaths since you've given birth. That's okay. So just notice what the body might be telling you. Maybe notice if there's an area of tightness or a lack of tightness, a lack of tension, a lack of strength in the belly, the rib cage, chest. Maybe you notice how the pelvic floor is feeling if you have awareness in that area. On your inhale, perhaps starting to feel that lengthening and opening in the pelvic floor. And just on the exhale, let it naturally do what it does. On the inhale, maybe creating space, allowing that expansion. It might feel like a gentle press down or an opening. And then resume your natural breath here. Gently open your eyes, bring awareness back to your surroundings. If you're still in child's pose, gently finding your way back to a seat on the chair. And working with the breath a little bit more, go ahead and bring your hands together at heart center. Press the palms, the fingertips together. Sit up tall, lengthen the spine. And as you do so, notice if you're arching the back. Sometimes we have a tendency, depending on how our pregnancy or how our birth went, to jut the belly forward. See if you can pull in here, make the spine nice and tall. Inhale, we'll reach arms up overhead, gaze up, stretch up. Notice how that feels in the shoulder blades, the neck. You can find a little bit of wiggle and movement here. And then on your next exhale, we'll turn the palms out, pressing the air out through our mouth as we bring the arms down. So, and then we'll just take that one breath per movement here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, press down and away. Inhale through prayer, heart center, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, press down and away. 3 more here. Last one. Maybe you take a sigh. Good. All right, from here, we're just going to find a gentle twist here, especially if you are recovering from cesarean like me, or you have a lot of pressure here. We're not going to take these deep twists, especially not yet, but we're just going to find a gentle twisting movement, finding a little bit of movement in the spine. So you can walk the knees just a little bit wider than hip width distance. And we're going to start with any hand, we're going to tap the opposite knee. So just a gentle twist here. And we're just going to move back and forth, nice and slow. If you feel like you have a lot of mobility at this point, maybe you're further along postpartum, maybe it's been a few months, maybe it's been half a year, feel free to take that twist a little bit deeper. But otherwise, listen to your body here. Just find that gentle movement. And we'll come to find another twist a little bit later on. A few more here. And then bring hands back to heart center. Go ahead, close the eyes. Close down the senses around you. Take a moment to just find your center. Listening to your breath, just let it resume its natural rhythm. Taking a moment here to honor yourself and to honor your body. Your body has been through so much at this point. Maybe it was enjoyable for you, maybe it wasn't enjoyable for you. Maybe you had some trauma around your birth. Maybe it went exactly the way you planned. But no matter what happened, you are here now, and your body has done some incredible, incredible work. No matter the outcome, honor this beauty within our feminine body, all that it is capable of. Your opportunity here to set intention for the rest of your practice, if you'd like. Could be a phrase, it could be as simple as one word. Maybe today it's grace, giving yourself grace. Maybe it's presence. Maybe it's just, I am here. I am here, I am showing up with whatever comes my way. We'll breathe into that intention. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release out the mouth. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Beautiful work. We'll take a few more of those breaths, breathing our hands up and exhaling them down. So inhale, open your eyes, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, press down and away. 2 more. taking a little seated cat-cow. Bring your hands to your knees as you inhale. Press forward. Neck can come back. And exhale to round. Be really gentle and mindful with this space in your body. Just finding a little bit of movement. So if you're feeling a lot of stretch, a lot of pain or tightness, uncomfortableness in your belly, please just back off. Take it really gentle. Again, the goal here is just to find a little bit of mobility, not necessarily come back to the full extension and flexion that we had prior to pregnancy. Just finding a little bit of movement here. If you feel really good in your body, and again, maybe you're a little bit further along in your postpartum journey, feel free to take it deeper. And then come back to center. We're going to find a little side stretch here. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, drop the right hand to your chair here for support, or you could use a hand on the hip. And we'll exhale over to the right. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, left hand to the chair or the hip. Exhale to the left. Good. Moving at your own pace. Use that inhale to come up. Exhale, side to side. If you want to hold a little bit longer on either side, feel free to. And again, just notice how it feels in your body. Your body might be feeling a little bit different than it used to. That's okay. Again, find that grace. And just find your point where it feels like a nice stretch and it feels good. We don't want any pain ever in yoga, but especially in this class, if you're feeling any kind of pain or tension like that, please listen in. I know I'm going to say that a million times today, but really, really important. As much as finding this mobility and this movement is in our practice today, it's also a lesson and a reminder and a practice to get back to listening, because our body is giving us different messages now. So we want to listen in, we want to be gentle. My biggest regrets in postpartum thus far have been the 2 times where I overdid it and then paid for it for days after. So be kind, be gracious. All right, shake that out. We're going to work into the legs a little bit here and come back to the arms and the shoulders. Go ahead and find that block or whatever you're using as a block. Place it down in front of you. We're just going to take a little hamstring and calf stretch. So you can scooch back on the chair if you need to, and just bring your heel to the block. If this is feeling really good and open, you're welcome to use a higher setting or, pile up a little bit further. And again, this is an opportunity to really listen into what is too far. I found it incredible that I can barely touch my toes now when I used to be able to, fold right in half. So just find your limits here. And this right here might be really intense. This might be enough of a stretch for you. If you want a little bit more, think about bringing the chest forward as you send your sit bones back. So lengthening through the spine rather than curling and rounding forward. And just come forward enough so that you feel that nice stretch along the back of the leg. Might be feeling it a little bit into the hip. And breathe here. Keeping a slight bend in the knee here. We don't want to lock the knee out. And then gently come up. And we'll switch sides. So slide your block over. Bring your left foot up. And notice how this side feels. For me, my left side is a lot tighter than my right. So just listening for those signals. Normal in any body to have an imbalance, right? come up and release. All right. You can shake the legs out. That feels good. We'll work back up into those shoulders and the upper back. We'll inhale, reach arms up to the sky, and exhale, find your cactus arms. So elbows out to the side, palms face forward. Think about pulling the elbows back, and the shoulders should drop down and away. So we don't want to be up like this. Drop the shoulders, open the chest, the heart. Again, just taking it to where it feels good. No pinching or pain here for you. As we exhale, we're going to bring the palms of the hands and the elbows towards one another. They may touch, they may not. Even if they did before, you might just come here. That's fine. Find your space. Inhale, lift the elbows, tilt back slightly, and then exhale, we're going to round forward. Again, just coming down to your own limit. This is about as far as I come down, even though, pre-pregnancy, my elbows might come down to my hips. This is my limit for today, so find yours. And then inhale, lift the elbows, exhale, open up. Stay for your inhale. Exhale, close the arms. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise. And exhale, open up. Stay for the inhale. 2 more times. Exhale, close the arms. Inhale, lift elbows. Exhale, round. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open. 1 more time. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, close. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open up. And this time, inhale, reach arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands come to the knees. Let's take a couple of rolls here with the shoulders up and down and around. And then reverse. And then take a couple of neck rolls here. Shake out the arms. Maybe do a little jiggle here. Checking my notes here because I do have mom brain and I don't want to forget anything that I really wanted to include here. Okay, we're gonna do let's do some modified sun salutations. Okay, so remaining seated here. Again, if you feel like you'd like to do this standing, feel free to. That's certainly an option throughout of it, but I'll continue to cue from the chair. Inhale, lift arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going to fold forward. So a couple options for you. If you have the space to, you can bring the chest to the knees. You can always grab a pillow or that block and place it in this space here so that you can really rest down. Another option is you could bring the knees a little bit higher by bringing the feet up to a block. That might feel good. And then arms can just come down, supporting you wherever you need. If you have space to do so, let the forehead fall forward. And here, really round the back. So rather than keeping that nice, flat back, we want to round. You can think about pressing your shoulders back a little bit, curling in a little bit more, and creating a nice round shape on our low back here. And as you stay here, maybe you close your eyes. And with each inhale in through the nose, I invite you to think about creating space into the low back. So almost as if we were breathing here, we're finding even more space in between our low back as it expands side to side, but also in the vertebrae vertically here. So each inhale, visualizing more space in that section. You can even bring your hands, fingers kind of intersecting here on the low back. If you can reach here, maybe feeling the fingers begin to separate a little bit with each inhale. This is the longest. We'll stay here. And then release your hands. We're going to find a halfway lift for a flat back. So hands can find any area on the legs or maybe onto the knees here. I want to bring the chest, heart forward. And here we want to take that arch, that roundness out of the back. Think about pressing our sit bones back, crown of the head forward, finding length. And then exhale, round a little bit. Inhale, use your hands on your knees to press all the way up. Pause for an inhale here. Realign ribs over hips. And then inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. As we are in this space again, remind yourself of your intention for practice. Big inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. Exhale, round forward. Again, using your hands wherever you need to for support. Inhale, find a halfway lift, flat back, lengthen your spine. On an exhale, round forward. Inhale, press hands into the knees, just slowly roll up. Maybe using the exhale to come up as well. Stack ribs over hips. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Breath in through the nose. Out the mouth. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, round. Press hands into the knees, rise up. Stack ribs over hips. Inhale, arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. Here we're going to continue with those twists. So if you're early postpartum, continue to do the knee taps. If you have a little bit more space and you want to go a little bit deeper, I'm going to semi-demonstrate this for you. As you twist, you're going to bring that hand that you're twisting in that direction to the back of your chair and the other hand to the opposite knee. And you can begin to pull yourself a little bit deeper, continuing to lengthen the spine and twisting from the navel. So this is about as far as I feel comfortable going. Another option, instead of the hand on the back of the chair here, is you could bring the hand to the bottom of the chair here and find a little bit more twist, as you can see here, than maybe just the knee tapping is. I'm going to continue with the knee tapping. So if you're with me, just finding that gentle twist. Good. And then come back through center. We're going to do some knee lifts here. And again, we want to be really gentle with our core, but we want to start to engage and we want to start to find a little bit of strength there. This is really gentle. I'm going to provide a couple of different options. If you have that block, go ahead, grab the block. What we're simply going to do, actually I'm going to turn it sideways here so I've got room for both feet. What we're going to do is just gently lift the knee and place the foot on the block, and then lift it and bring it back. This is going to take some hip strength, take some core strength. Just meet yourself where you're at. If this is feeling really intense to do these taps, another option is to just simply lift the heel. So this in itself might be all that you're looking for today. That's great too. So finding whichever choice here, we'll just be here for a couple of minutes, being really mindful. And you can stick with just one leg or you can alternate. I'm on a spinny chair, so it's easy for me to switch. But if you're on something stationary, it might be easier, or if you have two blocks, you could do that as well. Good. Let's do 6 more. So 3 more each side. If you need to switch, if you're just still on one side or the other, switching over. Good. And then press the block off to the side. Walk your feet wider here, really coming up onto the edge of the chair here. So you can sit up nice and tall, beginning to send the pelvis a little bit forward here. And then bring your hands to your hips. And as you begin to fold forward, think about your fingers going into that hip crease and making them disappear. So finding length as you fold forward. Maybe the hands come down to the earth, maybe they come down to a block, and then let the head hang forward here. If this is feeling really intense, another option would be to face a counter, a table, something like that, that you can be a little bit higher and just rest forward, similar to what we did in the child's pose. And find your breath here. Toes can be pointed slightly out. They probably are naturally without even thinking about it, but maybe take a check in here with the body. If you'd like to, here option for that halfway lift, flat back, pressing into the block or the ground, lengthening the spine. And then exhale, folding. Maybe you're able to come deeper. Really wide legs here to create space for the body to come down. And then slowly make your way back out of it. Slowly come up to a seat. You can walk your legs in here. And let's take a couple of shoulder rolls and neck rolls. Maybe a little gentle twist here. Might feel tight in that upper back from that folding forward. So maybe you find a couple of gentle cat-cows. Take a little stretch, find a little movement in your body. And working back into our hips here, we're going to take a seated pigeon. So a couple options. If you have the mobility to, you have the openness in the hips. Maybe you had a lot of openness in the hips prior to pregnancy. You can bring one foot, stacking it on the thigh, knee open, and you can just place a hand here, sitting up tall, and working with this opening here. That feels too intense. Couple options for you. Straighten out the leg that it's resting on, extended long, and then you can bring this foot anywhere along there depending on what feels good. So you might just, have the hip rolled open, but maybe your top foot is really down towards your ankle. You can begin to bring it up a little bit higher as that space allows. Okay, so finding the space where you would like to work. If you have access to it, depending on how far down your foot is, you can grab onto the foot with one hand and gently, the hand on the thigh, actually don't press onto the knee, but just onto the thigh. If you feel like you need more, you could gently press, but maybe just rest it there just as a weight, just as a reminder of that opening. And again, we don't want to take it too far. So we're not trying to hit our max. We're not trying to get to where we were prior to pregnancy. We're just trying to find a little bit of space and opening. This might be really intense if you haven't done any kind of hip stretches since delivering baby yet. Reminding yourself of your intention here. Next couple breaths, see if you can let yourself settle in a little bit. Maybe take a sigh on the exhale. And then we're going to gently release. If your foot is up on top of your thigh like this, we're all going to extend the bottom leg long and slide that foot down the leg, and then bring both knees in. You can kind of shake them side to side. All right, other side. So again, meeting yourself where you're at, finding which feels better. I'm gonna walk my bottom leg out a little bit for this side. Oddly enough, usually my right side is more open, but I'm noticing postpartum that my left side is more open. So again, just notice here, meeting yourself where you're at. And then find your breath. Next couple of breaths, see if you can sink in a little bit deeper. Maybe that means with the mind, allowing it come to a deeper ease, or maybe it's with the body, releasing some of that tension that maybe is protecting us from finding that opening. Releasing any muscles along the back or the neck that maybe are working that don't need to be. Two more breaths here. And then we'll release just as we did on the other side. Extend the bottom leg out, slide your foot down your leg, and then finding any of those little movements that feel good for the legs here. All right, now that we have a little bit of opening, we're going to take a modified warrior 2. So to get into this position, come up to the edge of your chair, like the very edge of the chair. And we're going to walk the right foot out to the side, nice bent knee, and extend the other leg back. So this is probably going to feel really intense in the hip, maybe in the hamstring or the calf. Finding your feet in a similar plane, you can have space here. And so really it's your right sit bone and maybe the inside of your left thigh that's resting onto the edge of the chair, feeling a nice stretch along the left leg. And you can play with it here of how far and how wide you want that stance, how close together you want the legs. And then you can bring the arms up, finding your warrior 2 arms, rolling shoulders down away from the back. Away from the ears. And here we want to be mindful that we have our ribs stacked over our hips. So if you're really far back, notice that. If you're pressed really far forward, if your belly is jutting out, see if you can pull the ribs down and notice where you're at. Drop the left hand, flip the right palm, reach up and back on an inhale. Exhale, we'll come back to warrior 2 arms. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. 5 more on your own breath. Another option here, I just noticed myself doing it. You can place the left hand on the chair as you find that reverse if you need a little bit more stability. All right, I think it's one more here. And shake out the shoulders, and we'll gently heel toe the feet, come back through center. Shake anything out. Let's go ahead and stand up for just a moment. And kind of rock your hips side to side and wiggle your legs. And then go ahead and sit back down. We'll take it to the other side. So bringing your left leg out to the side, extend your right leg. This time it'll be your left sit bone and maybe the inside of the right thigh here resting on the chair. Just notice, find what you'd like to for your legs. And then again, notice if you can stack your ribs over your hips here. Just kind of understanding where we're at, adjusting the feet. And then arms can come out, roll shoulders away from the ears. Drop the right hand in, inhale, flip the left palm, reach up and back. And exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, warrior two. 5 more on your own breath. After that last one, release the arms, heel toe the feet, come back through center. If you want to stand up again for another second to shake out or wiggle the legs, feel free to. And then go ahead, sit back down. We're going to take a couple more of those sun salutations. So bringing hands to heart center, inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, flat back, gaze forward. Exhale, round. On your inhale and exhale, press hands in, roll up. Next, inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. This next time, we're going to do it with legs wide. So bring your legs a little bit wider. Inhale, reach arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Bring the chest, the heart forward. Exhale, round. Press hands into the knees. Gently come up. Stack ribs over hips. Heel toe the feet in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, press down and away out the mouth. One more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale out the mouth, down and away. Good. Bring hands to your lap. We're going to work with just a little bit more breath, and then we're going to find our Shavasana. So during pregnancy, as you probably are aware, everything kind of gets jiggled around, right, to make room for baby. And as our bellies are expanding and we're making room for baby by moving our organs around, our ribs are also starting to flare out and expand to create space in the womb here. So after pregnancy, really important to start bringing those rib cages down and in. So we're going to practice with a little bit of breath. This is where you have the option to use the strap, but I'm going to walk you through by using your hands. So if you don't have a strap, absolutely no worries. It's just maybe can be helpful for some people to feel the tension around the entire rib cage. So if you'd like to use it, you'll simply wrap it around the lower bottom of your rib cage, coming through center, crisscross it at center, and then you'll just have the strap here. And as I cue you to pull the ribs down and in, you can just gently tug in opposite directions, and you can feel that whole squeezing of the rib cage. So that's one option. If you do have the strap, feel free to practice in that way. If you don't, no worries. What we're going to do is we're going to bring our hands to the lower part of our rib cage. Thumb is going to go on the back here. So just like you're squeezing your sides. All right. As you inhale, feel expansion. Exhale, Squeeze in and down. You're going to feel your core begin to contract a little bit. And then inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze in. Just noticing how that feels. We're just going to practice this breath for a couple minutes here. If you are further postpartum or you've been cleared to do some of that abdominal work in your body, as we pull the ribs in, you're welcome to also find that contraction in the abdominal muscles, starting down at the pelvic floor, so starting with a Kegel and squeezing up and in. So you'll find this lift as the ribs are pulling down. If you don't know what that means or you're not feeling it in your body, you're not sure you're doing it the correct way, just let it go. Just focus on the rib cage. And then release, hands to the lap. Inhale, shrug shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, down the back. Let's take one more sun salutation. Inhale, reach arms up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press hands in, come all the way up. Inhale, arms up. We'll do the exhale out the mouth. Press down and away. Good. From here, we're going to find our Shavasana, our meditation. Seeing as we are practicing from a chair, you're welcome to stay in the chair. If you are, scooch back so that the back is actually supporting you here. If you are on the bed or on a couch, feel free to lay down, feel free to lounge back. Whole idea here is to be comfortable. Don't worry too much about, the traditional shape of Shavasana, although if it feels really good to lay down on the ground and find that flat on your back, go for it. Anything that's going to allow you to be comfortable. I'm going to sit back in my chair, and then I'm actually going to bring my feet up because for whatever reason I can't sit in a chair like a normal person. It's not comfortable for me, but find something that's comfortable. Allow yourself to settle in and begin to close your eyes. Again, coming back to our bodies, coming back to all that they have done. I think that pregnancy, motherhood is such a quote-unquote normal, right, part of our society. It's literally the most natural thing you could imagine is for animals to reproduce, right? Yet every single pregnancy, every single birth, every single child is really a miracle in and of itself. I find it so fascinating what our bodies are capable of. So no matter what your experience was here, I invite you to just take a moment to honor that beautiful body of yours. Even if it doesn't feel beautiful right now, I certainly don't feel my body, is beautiful. That's okay. What it's doing is beautiful, and what it's done is beautiful. And then we honor that body by allowing it to rest in this space. Hopefully someone is taking care of baby right now. So you can just rest a little bit longer. Release tension in your feet, your ankles, calves, thighs, hips. Create space in your low back, soften your belly. Shoulders, upper back, relax. I invite you to wiggle around and find something that's really comfortable for your back support here. Arms get heavy. Fingers open, unclench those fists. Unclench your teeth, unclench your jaw, unclench your eyebrows. Soften the forehead. And then take this time, maybe you come back to that intention that you set. Maybe you didn't set one, maybe, reflecting on something here. Or maybe just finding stillness. You're welcome to turn off the video and stay as long as you like, but I'm here to hold space for you. So if you'd like to stay in this Shavasana with me, I'll call you up and out when it's time. But here I invite you to just breathe and to just be. wherever you're at, start to find some deep breaths. Start to find some wiggly movement. If you're not already in a seat, maybe come up to a seated position. And then in the next few breaths, bringing hands together at heart center. There's no rush here. Just take a couple of breaths, move slow. Maybe reminding yourself of your intention. And here I just want to express deep, deep gratitude for you sharing this practice with me, for this space in my baby's nursery that I get to practice with you, the space that you get to practice in. And a deep, deep gratitude for motherhood, for womanhood, and for all that has transpired thus far, whether it's, your first baby, your 10th baby. Each experience is unique, each one we need space to honor. So in this last breath here, I just invite you to step into that gratitude and step into that honor of your experience. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Thank you, thank you, thank you.